Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Assalamu alaikum once again. Welcome back. So, the series of videos related to the question have company, last video of the series. So, part A, the theoretical aspect. Distinguish between the different types of synergy. Okay, the concept of synergy here. Examiner expecting to make a discussion and discuss the possible source of synergy based on above scenario. So, concept and application. 6 marks. So, a very important thing before starting that particular question, make sure, because examiner mentioned the reference of the case, make sure that you have already recalled, or you have already in your mind the points related to synergy within the question. So first of all, recall the context of the question. What's the context of the question? Number one, have a quickly recall. Have is a publicly listed company involved in production of highly technical, sophisticated electronic component for complex machine. It has a number of diverse and popular products, an active research development department, significant cash reserve, highly talented management who are very good getting product to market quickly. So number one, business about high-tech electronic component. They are good enough with respect to their own operations, business main operations, core operations. That's product development, product research development, product development, all these things. So core area, they are good enough, well diversified. They are good enough with respect to finance, significant cash reserves, and also good in business operations with respect to market the product quickly. They have a good command to market the product quickly. Now, have is looking to venture in biotech. Okay, that's a question. But having limited experience, Therefore, they believe the best and quickest way to expand through acquisition. So, they wanted to diversify within biotech technology, limited experience, decision to take to move or to expand the business by acquisition, and they identified a trend. So here the case about acquisition, and the acquisition must be justified with synergy. So Strand is a private company operating biotech industry, and we need to search here by reviewing the context. If have acquired Strand, what possible source of synergy in terms of revenue especially that may generate? Privately owned company operating in biotech industry, owned by consortium of business angels and managers. Owner managers highly skilled. The company they are acquiring, the managers who also own the company, highly skilled scientists. If the owner managed companies, and here the owners are the highly skilled scientists, which is the main role for this particular type of business, where regularly required research and development. So the skill as a scientist is very important for the business. Who have developed number of technical complex products, but have found it difficult to commercialize them. So whatever Strand company now doing, synergy means that when they combine, when the Strand merge with Have company, so the ability to generate revenue of a Strand company is higher rather than what they are doing before acquisition or right now. And this highlighted point, its clear indication, found that it will difficult to commercialize. Right now, strand company management, good, having a having good ability, having the ability for the research, development, innovative product development, but not to commercialize them. So revenue synergy can be generated from there. And it apparently looks that if they are scientists, so they are also good for innovation of the product. So combine the research team of have with a strand that's also become able to generate good innovative product, and then use the expertise of have company to market the product quickly. So of course they will be able to get more revenue rather than they have more revenue on the basis of acquisition, post acquisition rather than the before acquisition. So they have also been increasingly constrained by lack of funds. One another point. Now they have a constraint of funds to develop innovative product further. So decision have been taken place about the possibility of Strand company being acquired by the Have company, and Strand company is happy for the negotiation to proceed. So there is no concept about the hostile takeover. So distinguish between different types of synergy and possible source of synergy. Possible source of revenue synergy. Revenue synergy based on above scenario. Now start that particular question. You know very well from where we need to start. First of all, we have to make a good plan. We have to make a good plan. For planning matters, the first thing is time management. The first thing is time management. Time management. Number one, 6 marks you have. For 6 marks, you need to allocate 2.25 multiply by 6 is equal to, you have almost 14 minutes. And it's a good thing that you need to spend 3 minutes for planning plus 11 minutes for execution of the wartime for the writing. So you need to spend at least 3 minutes. Number 2, marks management. Marks management. First of all, you have to consider this. What is the type of theoretical question is this? What does that mean? It's a type. This is a type of question about examiner here testing about something concept and application of concept. Here examiner examine a topic called synergy and application of the synergy. As compared to previous question where examiner examined the theory about the analysis and evaluation based on the calculation you have made or based on the scenario. Here examiner examined a concept of the syllabus and application of that concept. So first of all, don't ignore and get easy marks just to explain the concept. Just to explain the concept and get easy marks. But this is what about the rote learning? Yes, of course, there are some marks for the rote learning, but limited marks. For example, if you just explain the synergy categories or basic synergy definition, you will be able to get only 2 marks, not even the passing marks. But the important point is that 2 marks is also important. And first approach for the easy marks. And then application. Then apply with the case. First thing is that type of question. Now start. How to allocate the marks by the examiner? Number 1, distinguish between different types of synergies. I personally suggest you to start with this question just to explain the concept. Number one, the definition of synergy. Simple. What whatever the method we use to calculate a synergy, that's simple. How to calculate a synergy? Synergy is basically the difference between the combined company and if the value of synergy is calculated or is based on if the companies work together or combine together as compared to the value of the companies if they work individually. That's simple statement. And then connect this statement uh, with the statement that and connect the statement as synergies created due to the reason of due to the due to following reasons, or the categories of the synergies are as follows. Very simple. And then you define the revenue synergy, then define the cost synergies due to the reason of economies of scale and so on, and the finance. Just one or one and a half liner statements. Because here only you will be able 2 marks out of total 6 marks. Then evaluation. About the possible revenue synergy. And that is what about the 3 marks. Here, what about the evaluation here? Sir, if we start the things of the revenue synergy evaluation with the case, how to start it? Because previously we have already explained the term revenue synergy. Yes, of course. But here examiner concerned more about to connect with the case of have and recall the case. Have company if acquire the strand company. So of course ability to get cost synergy. It's mentioned something question. Ability to get finance synergy because constraints of finance about strand the target company. But the biggest synergy is expecting from revenue. So you have to mention with this scenario the biggest synergy expecting to generate from the revenue. And you mentioned that it's it's not an easy task just to, or you can say that identification of the synergy is an easy part, but in practical reality to achieve that synergy through the revenue or revenue synergy, it's a very difficult task. It's hard to generate the revenue synergy as we evaluated above. And for this, if this is hard, then we need good planning. Then we need good planning before acquisition, that or making a good strategy how we will be able to get the revenue synergy as we evaluated or calculated earlier. And this is not only about the revenue synergy, that's for one time. That should be long lasting to get competitive advantage. In the practical world, the post acquisition generating the synergy is a real challenge, and in fact the challenge is not only to get the revenue synergy as a single time but also to sustain, because synergy means extra benefit, extra revenue, impact, extra wealth creation. Number one. Number two, then you have to connect the things slowly with the have. For example, yes, with reference to the case of have a have company has a talent of sales and marketing. Has a good talent of sales and marketing. If have acquired the strength company, where the strength company um, would command with respect to innovation, the management as a scientist, but they don't have an ability right now to commercialize them or market them. If they combine together, so that innovative, talented products can be marketed through the talent of sales and marketing or have company and able to get extra revenue or able to get extra mileage. So that is a point that you can connect accordingly. Moreover, research and development of have company and strength company, if combined together, they will create new innovative product and create and market with the talent. Results the competitive advantage. But you know very well that if you are writing some technical to getting the technical marks, and in fact, for example, if this is the point, have talent and sales, marketing and research combined, actually this you are incorporating the technical points, also the professional skill marks for analysis and evaluation, where you identify the facts from the question and incorporating in the answer. So identify the facts and identify the facts from the question and incorporate in the discussion is one of the professional skill marks, number one. But more things you need to create here. For example, if you are discussing these points, you have to make a critical assessment point, critical evaluation point, like a skepticism point. For all, if you really wanted to generate this uh, synergy, if you really wanted to get this synergy, the scientist retention is critical here. It's really critical here. Although the case mentioned that, and we have also above conclude that point with the bonds plus the section B requirement. If accept the bonds plus cash mode of consideration, so actually the stake is still maintained with the company, and within the question, the management also happy to sell the company here, and they also wanted, they have a in the question there's a clue that owner also wanted to continue the legacy with that acquisition or acquisition with the have company. They are happy with this. So scientist retention is critical here, and care need to be considered here. Okay, we will write with the main solution. Okay, scientist retention is critical here for all above. This is what about some skepticism point. Then finally, concluding comments. And that is what about the 1 mark. Here, it's not about something to decision making, but your final comments. Your final comments in like this. You have to challenge the facts in term of challenge the facts in term of post acquisition synergy and sustainability. And sustainability. You have to challenge this. Challenge the facts. You have to critically. Here, challenge doesn't mean to demoralize. Here, challenge means um, the reason is to challenge that. Make sure that we are making decision with a well-informed knowledge, as I have already discussed with you earlier. Here you will mention that identification, the real challenge is that identification, the full potential of synergy is very critical. Make sure that you have identified the full potential of synergy, including revenue. But another most important or critical point, the post acquisition integration issue. Because one of the topic in the syllabus, and it's very important, what are the reasons for the value of what are the reasons for the merger acquisition failure? These are the important, these are the concrete reasons. Number one, overestimation of synergy. Number two, you have paid excessive premium. Number three, inadequate planning. And the very important, post acquisition integration issues. Post acquisition integration issues. That includes, for example, have acquired a strength. The consent point, how to mingle the employees, that's called employee engagement. Senior management issues, when they combine together to make the strategies and all these things. Cultural embeddedness, technology integration, different customers, having different customers, but they are taking up the strand. So customers will also integrate. So customer integration, communication challenges. Although it's not, the details are not the part of this area of question. This question, this is not the real requirement of the question. But I just connect the things accordingly. Just up, you just make a one line because it's here just 1 mark. You have to conclude. You have to make a concluding comments with incorporating the tone of sustainability and practicality as well. That's commercial acumen. That's why you have to incorporate these wordings accordingly. And rest of these are the knowledge you can use for your next questions. Now come on, the full answer. This is the full answer. Okay, number one, you have to start with the first, that synergy and types. Here comments mentioned explain the concept. Simple, that use a simple language. It's very concise but complete. Concise doesn't mean that you ignore some points. Complete means first you need to start here. An acquisition creates synergy benefits when value of combined company more than the sum of the two companies working individually. You can add the word working individually, otherwise this statement is complete. Simple statement. Synergy can be separated into three types. Revenue synergy, which result higher revenues, more revenues for combined entity, first line, and also creating higher return on equity and an extended period of competitive advantage. The complete statement is that what will be the implications if we get the higher revenue. So result higher revenue, implications means also creating higher revenue on return on equity and get the extra competitive advantage. One liner statement. Just a road learning. Cost synergy, which result mainly from reduction, duplication functions, and related costs, like the marketing costs need to cut, HR, and a lot of things, production, branches, warehousing, and from taking advantage of economies of scale and economies of scope as well. Limited points, just for 2 marks. Always write the answer according to the mark. Financial strategy may result from ability to increase debt capacity or transferring group funds for companies where they can best utilize. So if have acquired the strength, so parent and subsidiary relationship, group. So if the subsidiary required the funds, parent can support her. So that's why the finance here we can manage the or we can create more synergy accordingly. Now, possible source of revenue synergy. Number one, revenue synergy has a potential to be biggest synergy for this acquisition. Although they are likely to hardest to achieve and also sustain, not only to achieve but also use the word certain. Good post-acquisition planning. First, you mentioned the line, this is a critical challenge, but how to cover this challenge? We will cover the challenge by good post-acquisition planning is essential for the synergy to be released, to be realized, but they can be substantial and long-lasting. In this case, have companies management can help market strength company product more efficiently by using sales marketing talents, resulting higher revenue and longer competitive advantage. Simple lines, whatever we discussed earlier. Revenue research and development. Research and development activity can be combined to create new products using technologies in the place. In both companies, because both companies have a research and development. If they combine together, possibly bringing more innovative products and market earlier, market quicker. So combining research development, create more innovative product and market quicker. So that's a competitive edge, extra mileage. The services to scientists for strength will be retained. That's the criticalness to drive innovation forward. But these need to be nurtured with care since they had complete autonomy when they were the owners of a strength company. That's the critical point. It's not only just to acquire the company, also to integrate. Here is a challenge in this question that is called number one. First, use the question data to support discussion. What's the data in the question? Strand company, owner managed companies. So managers who are the scientists, and the critical resource of the company. At Strand, they are owner, but post acquisition, what their status? Still owner? If not, are they the employee or managers? And do they have freedom or autonomy to develop the products with the same potential? This is the critical point. So use the question data to support discussion. And this point also, the practical consideration, context, that context connect with the case. And this is also called, we have highlighted a constraint with respect to commercial economy. We have highlighted a constraint. This is the important point to consider, highlighting point. And finally, concluding comments. The main challenge in ensuring long-lasting benefit is not only ensuring accurate identification of potential synergies, but putting into place integration process and system to gain full benefit from them, as I have discussed. The main challenges is not just it's not just to identify full potential. Yes, it's a challenge, but also proper integration process and the system to get full advantage. This is probably the greater challenge of the management of HAF company. If they done poorly, not manage these things properly, can result failure to realize the full value of acquisition. And HAF company need to aware this and made adequate planning or provision before acquisition. This number one, previously we planned the question for the key contents, what to write. The planning is important. Then after planning, how to draft the question with the professional skill marks. That's another important one. So I hope that you really enjoyed this part of the session and you have learned that how to write the answer. So I hope that it's clear to all of you. Any problem you can ask me. Thank you very much. Take care a lot. Assalamu alaikum.